Hey guys, it's Jeremy here at Metal Music Meltdown, back with another video. What we have for today, guys, is we're going to do another album review. This time we'll be checking out the latest release from Linkin Park. It's their 8th studio album entitled From Zero. Pretty cool artwork on this one, the pink and black kind of two-tone. Definitely stand out on the shelf for sure, easy to see in a record store. It's got 11 tracks, just under 32 minutes in length. And like I said, their 8th studio album, first one in I think 7 years it was, 7 or 8 years. And obviously the new first one with the new vocalist, who is Emily Armstrong. They have a new drummer as well, whose name is Colin Breton. And otherwise everyone else in the band's pretty much the same. I kind of mixed feelings on this album, guys. I really am a big fan of Linkin Park, their early stuff. The last few albums from Linkin Park, I didn't really check out too much, to be honest. I kind of did fall off of them a little bit at the end. But losing Chester was a huge loss to music in general. He was a crazy good vocalist, and I was one of those people kind of on the fence, thinking, "Oh, Linkin Park. Well, I didn't want to hear them anymore. Without Chester, it'll never be the same. It's just a waste of time." But I gave the first couple of tracks a listen. They're pretty good. And her vocals are really good. She does sound good. She meshes well with the band. So I wanted to check out the new album and give my thoughts. I had to, like I said, kind of mixed feelings on this one. Some songs I really, really liked. Other tracks were just kind of like for me. So let's jump right in. The opening track is just the intro from Zero. It's called 22 Seconds. It's just them kind of saying from Zero. Shinoda and Emily, I think it's kind of it doesn't need to be there. They need to get rid of that personally. Remember, the first real track is The Emptiness Machine. I think this is probably the best song on the album, to be honest. When I first heard this is what kind of gave me promise for the new lineup. This is exactly what I want to hear when I hear Linkin Park. This is the sound I love from the band. Those, like, the verses with Shinoda kind of doing a kind of a softer rapping part, and then a pre-chorus that leads into this really thunderous screaming chorus, like really punches hard with like good crunchy guitars underneath it, nice heaviness and a good contrast between, like I said, the softer verses with the rapping part and the really intense screaming chorus that you can't help but put your fist in the air and scream along to. So this is the kind of song I want to hear from Linkin Park. This is probably my favorite song on the album. Cut the Bridge was an interesting song. One I didn't like as much. Had definitely a different sound to it. A little bit slower pace. A little bit electronic feel in parts. And it had like this kind of like cutting drum rhythm that was like relentless. Like almost too repetitive for me. And it kind of felt a little fatigue on the ears from hearing that after a while. It was kind of too, I don't know if repetitive is the word, but I found the rhythm, that constant chopping drum rhythm, just kind of wore me down after a while. I didn't like that as much. But overall, the song was pretty decent aside from that. Vocals were really good on this one, really good tune. Heavy as the Crown was another one that was pretty good, a little softer at the beginning, but had some good intensity more to the end with the bigger chorus. I enjoyed that song as well, pretty solid. Over Each Other, when I first heard it, I did a review of the song on the channel. I referred to it as like a song that was too slow or a skippable song. But after hearing it a few more times, I really actually enjoy it a little bit more. It's a little bit better than some of the other songs on the album. It's got a cool vibe to it, strong, good lyrics as well about miscommunication and things like that, and regretting situations, etc. And a pretty good song. After hearing it a few more times, I kind of dug it a little bit more, and I like it a little bit better. And Casualty was their banger, 220. Very intense song, very heavy. I love this song, more guitar driven, very almost metallic, but very metal-like. Very cool song. I enjoyed that one. It's very different. If I'm not correct, that was the one that had Shinoda. His delivery wasn't as rap as much as it normally is. It was almost like a punk delivery. It's very different. His voice was very raspy sounding and kind of a more punk delivery. It's very different, very interesting song. And then Overflow was another one that was just kind of like there for me. Had kind of like an electronic undertone to it. Emily's vocals sounded really, really good on this song, but overall, I just lacked the guitars. I like their songs that are more guitar driven, and I thought this one was not quite there. Two Face was very similar to from Emptiness Machine. That sound I really enjoy, like the softer verses into the heavy, punchy choruses. Really enjoyed that song. Had a lot of good power to it, and yeah, definitely standard track for me. Stained was a really cool song for Emily. Really showcased her vocals. I really liked her vocals on this one. I think she sounded really, really good. And then the IGYEIH, which is, I believe, I'll give you everything I have. Sorry. That was a really heavy song. I really enjoyed that one. Really cool. Much heavier at the beginning than I was expecting it to be. Really punched hard. Super heavy song even for Linkin Park. Really heavy song. Really like that one. And then The Good Things Go, the last song. A little bit of a mellower song, but a nice song to end the album. Nice clean vocals. Nice and mellow and smooth. Nice way to end the album overall. So standout tracks for me, Empty Machine I think is the best song. Heavy is The Crown, Casualty, Two-Faced, and I'll Give You Everything I Have, I think was the four best songs, or five best songs. Songs I didn't like as much, Cut the Bridge, I didn't like the relentless, like compounded, the drum beat on that one as much. It kind of drove me crazy after a while, I didn't like it. Cut the Bridge was a weaker song in my opinion, and Overflow was just kind of there, was just okay. And Stained was another one, which was just like a good song, but not great. So overall, pretty decent album. Pros to the album, they do what Linkin Park does. They have that traditional Linkin Park sound. I think Emily's vocals are very good. I think she sounds good, both clean and harsh. But I found myself a lot of the times listening to this, just wondering what it would sound like if Chester was singing her parts. I think she's not quite on the level of Chester. I know it's just a different singer. I shouldn't compare them like that, but I don't know. Both his cleans and harsh vocals were better than hers in my opinion. Like they had more punch to them in both ways. But she's a really good singer. I think they picked a good vocalist. I think she's going to do very well in the band. I think there's natural chemistry there. I think they mesh really well. They did a lot of experimentation on this album. A lot of like kind of typical Linkin Park sounds, but then a couple songs that really kind of threw you off. Like, well, what's this? What's happening here? So they were kind of all over the place with experimentation, different sounds. I found that as a pro and a minus. I do love when bands change up the sound on an album, so it's not every song doesn't sound the same. But at the same time, it makes the album a little bit incohesive. It was kind of like all over the place. You'd have like a heavier, kind of more traditional Linkin Park song followed by a more, out of the box kind of song that kind of had a different kind of feel altogether to it. And, it kind of jumps back and forth and wasn't quite as cohesive. Overall, I'd give this a ranking of about 7.5 out of 10. Really solid album. I have a feeling it's one of those albums that's going to grow on me the more I listen to it. Like I said, a couple tracks after a couple listens, I enjoyed them a little bit better. I definitely enjoy the more heavier tracks that are more guitar driven. But yeah, really good album. I was pretty surprised. Probably one I'd consider picking up on physical copy for sure. So that's pretty much it for me, guys. Let me know down below what you thought of the new album. And stay tuned. I might be reviewing the new As I Lay Dying album. I'll see how my weekend goes, but I might do that this weekend as well. So thanks for watching, guys. Keep it metal.